May 1998 was an inauspicious moment in the history of South Asia, one of the world's poorest regions. On the 11th and 13th of this month, India detonated its nuclear devices. Pakistan followed suit and demonstrated its nuclear might 2 weeks later. These scenes set off street celebrations across the country, with jubilant Pakistanis taking to aerial shooting and distributing sweetmeats. But the celebrations were short-lived. The international community responded to the nuclear tests with crippling sanctions, both on India and Pakistan. Within days of the detonations, all bilateral and international aid and credit flows to Pakistan were halted. The impact on its already fledgling economy was devastating and triggered fears of an economic collapse. Foreign investment dried up, and with that, growth stagnated. But despite the economic crisis, Pakistan's war machinery continued to thrive. More than 30% of Pakistan's national budget is spent on the military establishment, leaving little for the maintenance and development of the social sector. Massive defence expenditure contrasts sharply with the poverty visible in all spheres of life across the country. Despite assurances from successive governments, poverty in Pakistan has grown significantly. Almost a third of the country's 143 million people live below the poverty line.
Last decade of the 90s was a difficult decade for Pakistan because Pakistan has been growing at about 6% per annum for 30 years in terms of its GDP growth from 60 to 90, and in 90 it slowed down to 4%. And that has increased poverty, it has affected our exports, and it has also affected the level of employment.
Unemployment, low wages and an ever-increasing cost of living are just some of the pressing problems forcing these children to sweat and scavenge rather than attend school. Many of them are school dropouts simply because their parents cannot afford their education and need a supplementary source of income. The aggregate monthly income of such families is around $30, while fees for private schools run as high as $100 a month for the ordinary levels. Officially, just over 3 million children are engaged in different sectors of Pakistan's economy, but independent surveys put the number as high as 8 million.
Child labor situation is quite serious in Pakistan. The problem is that there is lack of political will on the part of the government. There is lack of acknowledgement on the part of the relevant authorities and the general public as well. I think the first thing which we all need to do to handle the problem is to acknowledge that the problem exists.
The bulk of child workers, a staggering 66%, is employed in the agricultural sector. Some 11% serve in the manufacturing industry. The rest work in street enterprises such as restaurants and mechanical workshops, or render personal services, mostly as domestic servants. Children under 10 years old form a major chunk of the labour force working the thousands of brick kilns across Pakistan. Although the Bonded Labour System Abolition Act of 1992 disallows it, children continue to labour at home-based brick kilns and carpet weaving units.
The problem of child labor is because the poverty in Pakistan itself, unemployment is increasing, as we all know. So unless we address the issues of reducing poverty and reducing unemployment rate in Pakistan, eliminating child labor in the long run is not easy, because we have the methods, we have the approaches to do it, but we have to go deeper than just addressing child labor itself. We have to address the pool from where child labor is coming, and that is from the poverty.
Efforts by the International Labour Organization and others to combat child labour pale in the face of the enormity of the problem. Poverty and poor implementation of existing laws blunt almost all the initiatives aimed at eliminating child labour. Former Minister Shaheen Atikur Rahman says only a three-pronged strategy, including increasing female literacy, can help meet this challenge.
Yes, but even that, even poverty comes because of illiteracy, because the dependents are more. So the main focus here is literacy. You see Southeast Asia, you see Bangladesh, you see other countries where these three systems, adult education, young education and early childhood, 3 to 5. These three systems have to go together to get a total literate population. There's just no way out.
Children in their early teens perform difficult, hazardous jobs, but earn far less than their senior counterparts. Nevertheless, the small amount these children earn is crucial for survival in an economic environment pushing a very large section of society to the edge. This is a society where leaders are focused more on their political advancement than a commitment to the plight of millions.